You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, Steve? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas.
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.cfrn.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.cfrn.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Friday, 28th day of February, 2020. Thanks so much for joining us, whoever you are, wherever you are. We're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you cannot see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, go to cfrn.net/live, and there you'll find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds. You'll also find us streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and coming soon to TradingView as well. We're very excited about that little bit of news, and we'll tell you more about it as it develops. I was in touch this morning with the good technical folk over at TradingView, and they are working on getting our feed connected, and so as I have more information on that, I'll certainly bring it to you. Now, let's take a look at the S&P 500 E-mini futures on the daily chart. This really just happened. You've watched it happen over the past week live in real time. Now we've always, when we put in a new all-time historic high, we talked about it. And with each new all-time historic high, go back, look at a show from a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Over and over, again and again, day after day, we explained this was coming. Okay? It's part of how markets work. The market simply needed some kind of exogenous event to set it in motion. We did not know that it would be a thing called the coronavirus, but that's what it was, and this is what has happened. From October, well, from this low put in October 3rd, 2019, it took from October 3rd, 2019 to February 20th to put in the all-time historic high. It is now taken from February 20th to February 28th. That's 8 calendar days to take back October, November, December, January, February, gone. As if it weren't even there. Now, have there been opportunities to make money on the downside? You betcha. We gave out this window of opportunity on the show Tuesday. We gave out this window of opportunity on the show Wednesday. Yesterday, I gave a window of opportunity, but I forgot to draw the little rectangle for you. So, if you want to go back and listen to the show yesterday, you can hear me talk about it, but I never drew the rectangle. This rectangle was put in last night during the partners workshop. Okay? And we identified this as the next area of support. We spiked it. It's given us a good bounce. But wait, there's more. Now, when we took out this level, that was very important because as the markets were trying to climb last year, we put in a swing high, July 26th, got a retracement, almost a 100% retracement. The markets then rallied, put in a swing high, September 19th, creating this little double top right here. And come October 30th of 2019, we were able to break free of this double top, and then we went on one of the greatest rallies the markets have ever seen. A leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement. Looked like it wasn't going to hold, but it holds more often than it doesn't. It did hold. It sent us up to the all-time historic high in the S&P 500 E-mini futures. Once we got below the BBC right here, then we could look at nothing but trades to the downside. This bullish cross was a potential area of support, gave us a nice bounce, and then it failed. Previous swing low, caught a beauty of a bounce, but ultimately it failed. Next area of support, gave us a bounce, then it failed. Here's our next area of support, bounced, failed. Even here, bounced and failed. Here, a bounce and a fail. And here we are, bouncing right here, right now. If you're a CFRN partner, if you're a member, if you're a passport holder, if you missed last night's workshop, We did something in the workshop last night I think you'll find very interesting. We identified a window of opportunity utilizing the 30-minute chart and the 5-minute chart, and it performed beautifully. Now remember, we're not psychic. We have no crystal balls. We can't predict the future. That's not how God created this world in which we live. You cannot change the past, and you cannot know the future. God drew a line in the sand. When he put in all the things he put into Adam, he left some things out. One, you can't change the past. Two, you can't know the future. The two are inextricably linked for eternity. Unfortunately, so many of the websites out there and the emails that fill up your inbox each day promise you that someone, somewhere, some way, somehow has found some kind of secret. Maybe it was in a clay urn in a cave in the Gobi Desert. Who knows? But by golly, for $9.99 or $99.99, they're going to share that secret with you. And now you'll be able to defy God, and you'll be able to know the future. You'll be able to know what's going to happen next. Dear friend, you're too smart for that. If you listen to this radio program, you're too smart for that. Know this. While you cannot know the future, you can know with a very high degree of certainty what the next high probability move will be. You can. You can know with a great degree, a high degree of probability, what the next high probability move is going to be. Does it always do that? Well, no, because then that would be knowing the future, and as I just said, that's not possible. It defies physics and just plain old common sense. So what we do is we teach you, number one, how markets work. Once you understand how markets work, you can then learn how to read a chart. We teach you how to do that. After we teach you how to read a chart, then we have an opportunity to actually teach you how to trade. Now, this is a very alarming statistic published by Futures magazine way back in 2006. The article stated emphatically that 9 out of 10 new traders fail. No one disputed it. But it sure made me curious, because it was in 2005 that I decided to leave the world of equities because of naked short selling and go into a purely electronic world called futures, where there was no such thing. So, to say that I was alarmed to read the article in Futures magazine would be an understatement. And inquiring minds want to know, and so I set out on a mission to figure out why. Why could there be any profession in the world where 9 out of 10 fail? I mean, Navy SEALs don't have a 9 out of 10 failure rate. Well, it didn't take too terribly long to connect the dots. 9 out of 10 fail because they simply never had anyone teach them how markets work, how to read a chart, and no one ever taught them how to trade. Would you even consider climbing into the cockpit of an airplane and flying anywhere if you've never been to flight school? If the plumbing goes out in my house, I don't even attempt to fix the plumbing because I don't know how. No one's ever taught me how to plumb, if you will. Now, go track down the 1 out of 10 who actually succeeds. Find one. Ask them this question. Did you have a teacher? 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you, well, yeah, of course I did. How else could I learn? Now, that's how the human mind works. 9 out of 10 are convinced they don't need a teacher. 1 out of 10 understands there's no way they're going to learn this unless they have a teacher. Let me give you the numbers from around the world real quick here. These are the cash markets, the indices. As soon as I finish, Michael will come in and give us a recap of everything that happened in the live training room this morning. When he finishes, I will go over with you the Concierge Trade Alerts from last night. We'll go over that trade that we watched happen during the workshop. I'll talk to you about the results of Logic 247 this week, and of course, we'll talk to John as he pops in. So for now, here are the numbers. Currently, the Dow down 740 points. That's almost 3%. NASDAQ is down 139. That's 1.5%. S&P 500 down 71, 2.5%. The Russell 2000 down 27.5 points, which is almost 2%. In the commodity basket, crude oil down $2.42, trading 44.67 last. Now that's a drop of over 5%. Gold down $51.70, trading 15.90.80 last. That's a drop of over 3%. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a loss of 805 points, 3.5%. Shanghai dropped 111, 3.5%. The Hang Seng dropped 648, and that's a loss of 2.5%. In the European markets at the close, FTSE was down 215, that's over 3%. DAX down 477, that's almost 4%. And the CAC dropped 185, that again, over 3%. Needless to say, that's a red day in Asia, a red day in the UK, and it's a big red Radio Friday here in the US of A. Let's go to Michael, get that recap of everything that happened this morning in the live training room. Michael, if you're ready.
I am ready. And, you know, it wasn't a red day for us. It was not a red day for us. It was a big green radio day for us. But the USA.
Listen to what he's telling you. But see, you let me just say it. You can make money in a down market. That's the beautiful thing about futures.
It is. It is. I mean, and that's why we chose to do this. You know, you can make money either way. And I am just going to show you right now. I'm not going to go through every opportunity that popped up today because the markets were just crazy. Okay. But I'll go through the spreadsheet and I'll show you the spreadsheet. And, you know, I'll go through some of the opportunities because, you know, we had technical issues this morning. And, you know, it took me like 45 minutes really to get going. And, you know, I was going off of Valerie's charts for a while. And, you know, we made money on Valerie's charts. but it took me a while to get my stuff going again. You know, Bert had to send me a new chart thing. And I did an upgrade today. And bless it, I will never do an upgrade again.
All right, brother. Well, we've got your screens, so
okay.
I'm going to hit
Well, here we
mute
go.
and let you run with it. Just once again,
right.
a big shout out to the good folks over at TradingView. We appreciate you adding us to your platform. It's still coming together. The technical stuff still being taken care of. But this is, we're very excited to be able to bring who we are, what we do, and how we do it to the TradingView community.
And I still have to build a slingshot
Stan,
for that.
Stefan, all of you guys over there, this bell's for you. It's all yours, buddy.
Okay. I know I still have to build the slingshot for that. It shouldn't take too long to do. Okay, here we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Friday, the 28th day of January in this leap year, so we got another day tomorrow of February of 2020. So the next one is going to be 2024. All right. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go to the homepage at CFRN.net, and over here in the right-hand column, it says apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, you will be brought to this page where it gives you a whole bunch of information, but all we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number, and you can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Okay, hit the send button, and then you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. All right, we don't know that you took the free trial until you hit the confirmation link. Now, today I'm going to show you the spreadsheet, and we were so close to $4,000 this month. I wasn't going to trade this morning because I had all kinds of technical difficulties. But in the last half hour, I decided I was going to throw a couple of trades on, and I did. And so we were up 13 ticks on the ES when I threw those trades on. So that put us at plus 162.5 per contract. So we did get the goal for the day. It took 4 trades, and at the time that we got the goal for the day, we were up 150. So I had 12 ticks at that point, I think, right? I don't know. But anyway, we took a total of 5 trades today. On the month, we were up $4,153.75. And that's over 18 days, averaging $230 per day. Okay. On the year, now we're at $6,952. And that's over 37 days, averaging $187 per day. That is one contract, 2 hours per day. Now, I know some of you guys that are out there right now that are not partners, that have been following us for a long time. You should really become partners right now, because the markets right now are insane, and there is so much opportunity. So much opportunity. I mean, I'm going to breeze through this, and there is just so much opportunity. If you become a partner and you learn how to do this, I mean, look at this right here. That was in a few seconds. And where would you have entered? Right there. Right there. In a few seconds. And it was just insane today. Where would you have entered? Right here. Where would you have entered? Oh, you wouldn't have entered that one. But this one, you would have gotten. This one, you would have gotten. Okay. Now, this is how I'm going to have to do this morning, because there was just so much opportunity. And the markets were buzzing around, and I had technical issues, so I couldn't keep track of everything. But, yeah. Right here. Right here. Right here. On the other side, you wouldn't have gotten anything on that. Right here. Now, look down here in the slingshot. And this is what I'm looking at. Okay? Because this is what determines whether you're going to actually take the trade or not. That and the black step line. But, in all these cases, the black step line's in the right place. So in the slingshot, when you get the separation between the green line and the cycle and the brown line, it's a new twist. There was a shot right there. Okay. And right in here. And I'm just looking at the slingshot. Okay, right there. Right here. Right here. all these opportunities were there for everyone this morning. Now, the charts, well, there was so much activity in data that the charts were messed up for me this morning. So I couldn't do anything with it. I mean, I should have had like a $3,000 per contract day just in gold. And stuff just wasn't working this morning. I had to reinstall a whole charting package and all that stuff. But right here, there's opportunity right there. Right here. And basically what I want to show you is that the indicators are doing what they should do. Now, the fact that the charting package failed me this morning for the first, I don't know, hour. I think it was like an hour it took. But we had Valerie's charts. We'd go off Valerie's. Hers were working. And I did an upgrade, and never again. But you can see all the spots here. Almost every one of these. We had a trade set up that we could have done and taken advantage of. And again, you have to understand that we're not in here to make 500 ticks a day, though we could have easily today. We're in here to get our goal for the day. Okay, so you get your goal for the day and then you're done. And today I waited and I waited because I had issues right at the beginning. And I waited and I waited. And then in the last half hour, I said, okay, I think things are leveling out and I'm going to take a few trades. And I did. I took 5 trades and I ended up with plus 13 on the ES. On crude, I took a trade here, had a break even. I don't have that down. Oh no, that's the euro. Sorry, I do have that down. That's the euro. I took a trade here and I had a break even. And the rest of the day, well, this is all during the break here. And it wasn't trending. There may have been along right here for a little bit. And that was it. Okay, on the crude. Now, it's a weird day when I don't have a trade on crude. And I didn't today. Was there opportunity? Yes, right here. Now look down here. Look down here. Where does the green line separate from the cycle and the brown line? Bang right there, bang right there. Now it's changing directions. So it changed directions really fast, and it gave a long trade right here for that leg up, and then it changed directions again. And look down here. Now this is important. It comes with a person, Anna. And yeah, we have videos and all kinds of stuff. I mean, really, we have literally thousands of hours of videos. But it comes with a person, either me, Dwayne, Valerie, Bert. We'll all get with you and do one-on-one training and teach you. Okay. Now, right here, you see all these peaks right here. Bing, bing, bing. Do you even need to look at price? Right here, a shorting opportunity. Right here, a shorting opportunity. Right here, a shorting opportunity. All of them worked. Okay. Look down here again, right now. Now, when the cycle goes against you like this, you don't want to trade. Okay. But right here was a long. Okay. Keep looking down here. What happened here? No, we didn't have a trade there. Well, Look at it right now. You see, this is right now, real time. The markets are just bouncing around all over the place. So what we want to see right here is the green line turn up and get up into the cycle. When it does, we'll have a higher swing in place. Do we have a long trade right now? Not yet. Not yet. Actually, we do. From right here, 45.07. Where's it going to go? Well, I don't know, but we want this green line to turn up and get up into the cycle. And it should put in a higher swing. It should break dynamic resistance and keep going up. Okay? Either way, you should have enough room to move your stop to break even. Okay? Now we'll do the ES. Excuse me. All right. Now, the ES. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. The ES was a monster today. We didn't do any trades on the ES. My charts were all messed up in the beginning of the session today, as I said, but there was a ton of opportunity. Now, I'm just going to go through looking down here. All right. I'm not going to go through prices much, but what I want you to understand is that the slingshot down here, it tells the whole story. Okay, the whole story. And hang on, I'm still scrolling. And if you want to become a partner, send me an email to tech@cfrn.net, or you can send it to support@cfrn.net, and just say partner info in the subject line, and I'll send you off all the information that you will need. Okay. Wow. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way with this. But this is all when my charts were not working. But look at here, between 10:15 and 10:16. Okay, and I'm going to go through the slingshot movements. Okay, and if price went with it, then I'll show you that. But I think this is probably the busiest day that we've had ever. Sadly, my charts are messed up. Okay, so down here, what you're looking at is the cycle, the red and blue line, being away from the green line. And if the brown line is with the cycle, that makes it even better. Okay, so there was a trade opportunity there, there's a trade opportunity there. Now, what we want you to do is learn to just establish a goal for the day and build up the contracts. Now, today on the ES, I can't say how much money was available there, but there was a ton. And John said yesterday, yesterday was a fantastic day for making money, and he said it's probably the best day he's seen. Wait till he comes on today, because today was even better. Anyway, there was an opportunity there, an opportunity there. Then cycle had to reset itself. It was all over the place. See, I'm looking down here right now, and the cycle was all over the place until we got over here. Now we're below the YBR. You see how the YBR split? It started over here with blue on the YBR and good separation. And then it just kept going and going and going. And then right here, it separated again. Now, years ago, we had this fella, George. He used to call it, well, we used to call it the George trade. When you would break, well, it was the elbow, not the YBR, but it would break the corner right here and change directions. And then you start looking the other way. Okay, so I'm going to start telling you people about all the things that go through my mind when I'm trading. In the morning session, I do my best to just stick to the rules, but there's so much more that's going on, so much more. And and we've developed it over the years. to be beneficial to you, and you become a partner, and and you'll learn about all that stuff. But with one-on-one sessions with me, one-on-one sessions with Dwayne, and Val, because she's learning it too. But okay, let's get back to what I was doing, because this is going to take a while. The yeses. Well, look, right here to right here is 1 minute. And there was a trade set up here for the short. There was nothing in here, 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 nothing in here until we get to here. There was a short. Then nothing. There was a long right here, leg up. Another opportunity to get into it there and there. And a shorting opportunity right here, short-lived, but long enough to get your stop to break even. But you had to be quick, because right now the liquidity in the ES is minimal compared. It's like a tenth of what it usually is. So you got to be quick when you're doing this. All right. So there's a shorting opportunity here, and a shorting opportunity here. And we're not even at 9:39 yet. And you could have already made $1,000 a contract in the first 9 minutes. The markets are just nuts right now. There's a shorting opportunity there, there, there. And I'm just looking down at the slingshot. Okay, so there's a long here, a short here, a short here, and here, and here. Nope, I'm sorry, that last one wasn't one. And this is just using the 2 trade setups that we do in the live training room in the morning. If you had the other 4 trade setups on top of this, you would have just killed it today. Along here, a short here, and here, and here, and here. See this W bottom? That would have been a long. See the M top? A short. W bottom. An opportunity to go long, though it wasn't set up right. A short here. A short here. And here. And here. We're not even to 10 o'clock yet. So, I'm not going to put you through all this. There were just a ton of trade opportunities today. And last night in the partners meeting, let me go out to a higher time frame. Last night in the partners meeting, we were talking about areas that the market should go. And this morning, when it got to those areas, these were those areas right here. Dwayne's got them highlighted on his chart. And, what's the market likely to do is what you're going to be thinking, right? And, John's not in yet because he's probably, he's got like 16 monitors and he's crazy busy. Not just crazy, I'm crazy busy. But this morning I was saying it's going to go up here to the BBC and then it's going to retrace, and it did. And when it started, I drew in these lines and I said, it's probably going to go to those places. And, I was thinking about the meeting last night. And for those of you guys who are not partners, you should be partners. And for those of you guys who are inactive partners, you should become active partners so you can see the meeting from last night. Dwayne and I went over all this last night. And I said, this morning, once it gets down here, I think it's going to make a run. And if we close up above the BBC, I think it's going to make a rally toward the end of the day. And I know when John gets in here, and he just popped in, when John gets in here, he's going to say, it's a Friday. It's going to be a Friday rally going into the weekend. Now, if something happens over the weekend, and something will, so Sunday's going to be an active day. So if you're not a Concierge Trade Alert holder or passport holder, you want to do that, because Sunday night, last Sunday night was just explosive, and this Sunday I think is going to be the same thing. The I don't want to say the people are scared, but they are. They are. I mean, look right here. Let me show you. That's the ES, and that's the euro. Look at the depth right there. I mean, that is huge. That is huge that the ES does not have any volume. It means they're taking it all out of the ES. And where are they going to put it? You'd think they put it in the euro, but nobody's putting it in the euro. Where are they putting it? I don't know. In cash is what I think. Because right here, you see gold's not showing anything either. And usually when they take it out of the indexes, they're going to stick it in the euro or they're going to stick it in cash. And they're definitely not putting it in gold. And look at the crude. You see that right there? So if I wanted to put on an order, 50 contract order, I'd fill all the way up to here. All the way up. I'd have fills all the way up. Okay. So people are scared right now. And you don't have to be. You just have to trade what's in front of you. All right. And that's all we want you to do. There was a ton of opportunity today. A ton of opportunity. Okay. All right. And that's it. So for the morning session, I waited until the very end of the session, and it was. This is the wrong number. This should be 115. Sorry. I waited until the very end of the session to actually place trades because the markets were nuts and I had technical difficulties. But if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today is the 28th day of February, 2020. We made 13 ticks on the ES. So we're up 162.5 on the morning session, and I just waited until the end of the session to place trades. All right, so on the month now, we're going to end the month with 4,153 per contract over 18 days, averaging $230 per day. Again, remember, that is one contract, 2 hours per day. And on the year, 6,952. That's over 37 days. If I'd have known we were so close to 7,000, I'd have probably placed a couple more trades just to get some more money. It'd make 7,000. But that's over 37 days, averaging $187 a day. I waited until the last half hour to actually place trades. It was probably the last 15 minutes. Okay, so if you have not taken a free trial with us, you can go straight here to eminitrainingschool.com, or you can go here to the homepage at CFRN.net and click on that, and that's going to bring you to this page where all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. And you can tell us biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training just for you. Hit the send button, you'll be sent a confirmation link. And once you hit that, then we know you signed up for it. Now, we really do the one-on-one training. Okay. Now, Dwayne has a schedule that you can check. I'm flexible. I can do it at night. I can do it in the morning. I'd rather not do it in the morning, but I can, Brett. But I can do it in the morning. So all we have to do is just arrange it. Okay. And with that, we can pass it back out to fabulous Phoenix, Arizona, Studio A overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Speaking
Sorry,
of
I know that
being-
took a long time, but
No.
it was
No, it was good
there was
stuff.
so much going on.
Good stuff.
I'm going to open up John because he's out there and he's busy right now too.
Yeah, but I just wanted to speak to the flexible part. One of our partners who resides in Bali, or has a home in Bali, he became a CFRN passport holder at 3 a.m. Eastern Pacific time on a Saturday morning. That's just how flexible we can be. We literally do run around the clock. Even when the markets close Friday afternoon, we're still busy handling customer service, talking to traders, doing one-on-one mentoring, right on up until the Globex Open Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. And that's when we put the pedal to the metal. And alerts come out via Logic 247. You might get an alert at 2 a.m. You might get an alert at 2 p.m. It might be on the S&P. It might be on gold. It might even be the pound. Whenever opportunity presents itself, whenever opportunity actually shows up, that's when you get an alert. The concierge alerts are a static report, and I'm going to go over those with you here in just a moment. That's a static report good for the entire session. And most often we have multiple triggers off of each one of those alerts. And I'll go through this week and show you just how often that has happened. So, I believe you said that John was already here?
Yeah, John is here. Yeah.
Okay, if you want to go ahead and open up his mic, what we'll do, guys, we'll talk to John. After we talk to John, I'm going to go over that very crystal clear trade setup that we watched drop the 7 points we were looking for live in real time during the workshop. Everybody had a chance to see it happen, understand the reason behind it, and I think you're going to find it interesting, to say the least. So we'll cover everything, but let's talk to John for now. John,
Right.
Welcome to the show.
All right, thanks very much. Later on, Mike, I want to ask you about that depth thing a little bit more, because
Okay.
it was kind of interesting what you were saying there, but I'm not sure if you explained it fully. But I think our friend in Bali probably decided to become a passport holder because he probably made a killing during the night and maybe paid for his subscription. So congratulations if that's the case. Anyway, I'm sure you're delighted to have him on board with you, Dwayne.
Absolutely. He's become a good friend over the past year.
Well, he's a very deserving guy, and he's very smart. Look, the funny thing about last night, I'm watching this market last night sort of going down into 10, 11, and there's no bid, and it really looked kind of, I mean, that sell right after the close, the continuation of the sell, it certainly looked pretty ominous, and there was a kind of a pathetic rally at around about a little after the market closed, and that didn't go anywhere. It just was another sell signal. And then we got a rally sort of towards just after midnight, I think. Finally got a rally. That was encouraging. And then we kind of got this weird sort of zigzag type secondary rally that went a little bit higher. Now this is very important because the rally was lower and stronger. It went to a lower low and a higher high. And then we had the test down to the open. We basically sold off, just before the open and created a potentially very good bottom. And I actually remarked to somebody last night, who's a very good trader, used to be on the biggest desk in the world, trading desk. And I told him that even though the stock sort of went up and then went down yesterday, I said, it kind of looks to me like some stocks might actually just go straight up from the open, and so some may open lower, and like Microsoft and a few others did. So what impressed me about the opening rally was, which we're still sort of part of, but it's faltering a bit, was that we I could sense a degree of normalcy to the market coming back into the market. In other words, what I like to say is clawing our way higher, and not these bear market rallies that we've had on the way down. This was more of a solid rally. Now there's a lot of things going on today. It's the end of the month, it's the end of the week, and it's the end of a hell week. But and probably a pretty good week for some, but not a lot of people were able to take advantage of this week. But a trend change on Friday today would be a pretty big deal, and it is actually happening. The semiconductors are leading the way higher, and remember they were the first to top out. The mid cap and the other ones not really leading the pack today, but the Nasdaq just went positive. The futures, the composite is not positive yet, and so you really have to be in a bit of a buying dip mode today. Although I would warn you, because I'm kind of reminded of being on the show with you before, where we did have a sudden panic spike down at about 1:30. And went down and made a new low and then came roaring back. So there's a possibility that could happen. You have to be aware of that. But so far so good. We put in a little bit of a spike top earlier on. That's a little bit ominous. I mean, it's some kind of a sell signal, but it's in the process of being negated. If we, the higher we go, the more likely that's going to be taken out. And if it is taken out, you're going to see a rally that'll knock your socks off. You possibly could see the Dow go positive, the S&P, everything go positive before the end of the day, and you could have the mother of all rallies into the close. And I wouldn't rule out an all-time record high day today, in all honesty. Anybody who doesn't believe that Trump is going to get this market back up is not getting the memo. I'm sure he's calling everybody on the planet right now who can, central banks and whatever it takes to get this market up. And the surest way to punish the sellers in the last few days is to catch everybody short at the bottom and rip them out, with a monster rally. Now, we're not there yet, but when you look at Microsoft and some of these other stocks that are up today, you can see that, if we did get an explosive rally, it could actually repair a lot of the damage. And, in a magical way, and it's by no means the case, but if this thing did peter out and not become, the mother of all kind of nightmares, Holocaust kind of thing, the market could explode higher in a way you can't even imagine, and you have to keep that in mind.
I honestly think it's going to. It's just a matter of time. I just think.
Yeah. And look, and it's the same with the gold. I actually said to people that I thought the gold would come down below 1,600 today. I thought maybe I sort of, I actually said 1675 on the silver. The silver got down to about 1650 and bounced. All that's going on here is, look, these markets are manipulated for sure. The commercials don't like being caught short. And when you look at what happened, we had a meteoric rally up to 1690 on the gold. And, it's almost like I did a double take. Did it really get that high? And then it's come back in a kind of a three-wave pattern. And I believe if there's any kind of intervention, which is almost for sure in the next week or two.
Here's gold on the daily, John.
Yeah. Look, the thing is, it's a little, looking at the gold chart today, you remember when we were going up on the way up to the top, we had these sort of really bad sell-offs in the market, and then it would sort of go green, and then it worked its way higher, and next thing you know, it blasted through the previous high. That was what we were having to deal with on the way up in the stock market, right?
Right.
Remember? I think it's a similar situation could be developing here in the gold. Listen, the day's not over yet. The gold stocks got knocked down early, and they actually went up, right, more or less off the lows. And if they go back to the highs of the day, they're going to look pretty good on the chart. So, look, I'm pretty sure if they announce a stimulus on the weekend, gold's going to go higher next week, and possibly dramatically higher. And as Mike is right, this is a day loaded with opportunity. I mean, this Lake Industries makes these hazmat suits and things, and that thing opened like, I don't know, $15 higher, something like that. And of course, they took it down as soon as the market started rallying. I mean, Jesus, you could have shorted that and taken about, $15 out of it in a fairly short period of time. And we are definitely, listen, I'm telling you, this market doesn't seem to want to go down now. I think maybe the panic part of it is over, behind us. If we take out this spike, you're going to see, this is a classic.
Are you talking about
trend.
this spike, John? Are you
the one that we just made a while ago.
That's their
right, and when we take that out, you're seeing something that hasn't happened since the top. In other words, every single spike has been a sell signal, right? So if this thing gets taken out, it actually lends itself to going back up and creating our head and shoulders, but just from a deeper level. And that could be enormously bullish, because you'd have this big rally today, and then you'd have a measured move, off this head and shoulders that would project the market way, way back up, several thousand points. So the thing about today, look, this is what Peter Steidelmeier, market profile fame. If you look at the, maybe you can pull up Finviz, F-I-N-V-I-Z,
F-I-N
V-I-Z.
V-I-Z. Finviz. I don't got that one, John.
No. Just it's a website, finviz.com.
Oh.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Viz, V-I-Z, V, instead of the F.
Finviz. Okay.
All right.
There we go. That ought to fix it.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. You see what I mean? Okay. Look. See these the sort of bunching up, and we're sort of clawing our way higher. Do you see that? In all three. And what tends to happen, look, this is as a matter of fact, I would say today is very similar to Tuesday, October.
What time period is this, John?
Hourly. Sorry, 10 minute. Those are 10 minutes.
These are 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. This is a very similar day to October 20th, 1987, and it's a little bit more drawn out, because what happened in remember, we had Black Monday, which was diabolical. We had like, I don't know, 22% decline, and then I think the next day was like about a 10%. The market opened 10% lower. So if you could go back up to the top for a second.
You bet. There you go.
Okay, so you can see we're not 10% lower. We're actually marginally lower, really, in the larger scheme of things. The Dow's down a lot, but it's not down that much. Now, this is, I was saying to somebody earlier on this morning before we even rallied, this kind of reminds me of March the 6th, 2009, when we bottomed, and we, what's going on today? Look, I know the Dow is a bit of an anomaly because it was down 1,000 points earlier on, but in terms of the rest of the market, what is the key thing that's going on today that, even earlier on, that was different from the last few days? In 2008, we were losing 400 points a week, like fairly consistently, right? In 2009, we were losing 400 points a month. So the rate of decline slowed down. And at the beginning of this, we've been losing 1,000 points a day, right? For this week, pretty much. And guess what? Are we, we're actually positive on the NASDAQ line right now. So how can we be, you know what I mean? The momentum has changed, and the sentiment is probably changing, and the fear greed index is in single digits. So,
And this time we have something tangible to be fearful of.
Right. So
it's not about what could happen. It's about what is happening. Yeah.
Right. So anyway,
I was going to say the whole fear greed index plays into what I was talking about in depth of market.
Okay.
And we can go over that in a few minutes if you want.
Okay. So what happened is on March the 6th, 2009, we didn't actually go anywhere till 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Okay. We were kind of hanging. It was more bearish than this right now. We hadn't really rallied. And then and remember, we were 100% short going into this day. And we at 3 o'clock, I saw some strength starting to come into the market. Remember the last hour? I think today the last hour is going to be an hour to remember, if I'm right about all this. And
I agree. And I think the open on Sunday is
I'll get to that in a second, but just to finish. So at 20 past 3 on March the 6th, 2009, and by the way, that was the day that Elaine Gazzarelli came out and said the Dow's good. We were at we were about 6666 that day, right, on the Dow, and she said it's going to 4,000. And I think Buffett came out and said something crazy as well. Like it's going to 4,000. So you had two people sort of like tell you the end of the world is at hand, and
that's usually a pretty good indication you found a bottom.
Yeah,
and our lowest weekly trading zone was right there.
Yeah. By the way, was there anybody on Monday, like analysts saying sell everything? No, the Kramer was saying, don't worry, he never gets the top. This guy, he missed every one of them, but he panics towards the bottom usually. And like all these guys, so these people are saying, take off the risk, get out of stocks if you're a short-term trader, this sort of thing. So they were basically saying sell this morning on CNBC. And then so going back to the trend change, if you can go to the other chart.
To the trend change.
To the okay. So you can see how this thing, if it gathers momentum, it could really, this thing could explode higher in a way. It's going to be hard to contemplate. You'll almost see panic buying going on today. So. This is but in 2009, we didn't go to
spikes
panic.
That have to be taken out to the upside.
Yeah, we didn't go.
Those are a challenge. Price was rejected, but if price is accepted this time, then that may very well be where.
Well, it might take a couple of goes, but the point is, look, if we go positive today, that's a pretty big deal in of itself. But if we really have a pretty good rally, the lows are probably in, and next week could be very dramatic to the upside, because this is one of those weeks where, it's not necessarily going to get retested next week. It could, but not necessarily. So and if it gets retested, we might even make a lower low. We're just talking about the next few hours and days right now. But the point is, in 2009, we went positive by the close, and by the way, by 3:20, we covered all our shorts, and we basically went long. And at 3:40, we went 100% long. So, I would say we'd be looking at the same kind of. We're out of our shorts, by the way, right now. From the lows, but we are getting buy signals. We've been getting these buy signals, in and out. So we're not. Look, we could go short again if the market tells us to. So there's no guarantees. I'm just kind of giving an outline of what could happen here. And the fact that we've got these pockets of green on that, hot chart. What do they call this thing?
Heat map.
Heat map, right? Is the sort of thing you see at a bottom. You had these companies come in. I mean, look, you had this Zoom, ZM. You might want to put that up in a minute because it's kind of an interesting chart. You've got Exxon, Exxon is positive. So this is how bottoms are made. You get the real strong stocks, or the stocks. Listen, Microsoft led the way down. Now it's leading the way up. This is super critical to the potential of this market bottoming right here. So you know, remember, it could all fall apart. But little Adobe there's already gone positive. One of my leading indicators. AMD, the techs, you know, the semiconductors, MU is strong. You know, this is very, very encouraging. And Apple is close to going positive. You know, it was not that far away from going positive. So it just doesn't get much better than this. And if we can have a look at
Which one do you want to look at? Zoom? Was that it?
ZM.
ZM. Got it. Now they just went public this year, earlier, correct?
Right. Okay. Listen, that thing came in, you know, like up crazy, right? So I mean, I think that was encouraging to come in this morning.
Actually, last year they went public. Okay.
Right. To see that stocks were actually up today, you know.
Yeah,
you know,
but look at this daily bearish engulfing candle. That does not look good.
Well, look, I think this stock has gone crazy because people think that this company is going to make a lot of money because people will be stuck at home and have to, you know, will be using probably this stuff for communicating. Have a look at Roku, ROKU.
But that's such a short-term perspective. You know, I mean, let's say people are locked up in their house for 30 days.
Well, listen, the day's not over yet. You know, I mean, look, you know what's going to happen if the market goes down.
But at some point, the sun is going to come out, and we may be minus 70% of the world's population, but the sun will come back out.
Yeah.
And people will go back to work and.
Yeah, you know what's great about what's going on now, Dwayne, is we have a market that is going up methodically. You know, when a market is moving methodically higher, and each dip, each pullback is being bought, you know, that's a really, really good thing. That, you know, we're sort of getting back to normal. But because of the way this thing is set up here, it's kind of now look, you know, there's no guarantees we're going to go right away. It could go right away, but looking at this sort of developing head and shoulders here, we could hang around for an hour or two, maybe to the last hour before we finally go. But I think the odds are fairly high that we'll have a late rally in this thing, and it could be really a memorable one. So and then it'll give people a lot of comfort, you know, going into March. So that's kind of like the story. There's other, you know, there's LAKE, the same. There's a lot of them. I check out LAKE.
LAKE.
Yeah.
All right.
See, right? Look at that. And then there's mRNA.
I'm sorry.
mRNA.
mRNA. There we go. Well, stand by. There we go.
That's another one. Look at that.
Pretty
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, look, you know, when they run up these drug stocks, most of the time they're hot air, and the professionals come in and just take them apart. Because, look, even the best of them, GILD.
Gilead. There we go.
I mean, look at it today. You couldn't. Who would have thought this is going to happen? You know, they did it yesterday. They hammered the thing down, but it went back up, right? Towards the end of the day, as the situation got worse. I mean, this is the company that's supposed to be saving the world against this virus. So you have to scratch your head and say, what the heck's going on? You know, is this thing working or not? Maybe it's not. There's VIR.
VIR coming up. You want it on daily?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, another one. Look at that. It totally took this thing. I mean, look at the range up and down on this thing. Jeepers.
It's a $30 move up and a $30 move back down.
I don't think I've ever seen that before like that. That's crazy.
I don't think we've ever seen markets quite like this before.
Right. Then there's NNVC, I think.
And there's still hope of containing this whole thing. I mean, there's still hope right now, you know, that we're going to get this thing under control.
Yeah.
So if we have this kind of volatility while there's still hope, What happens when they take away our hope?
Yeah. So check out NVAX. Have a look. NVAX is another one.
Symbol?
NVAX.
Okay.
Okay, that's probably doing better than the other ones.
So
INO,
about $2 off yesterday's close.
yeah, INO is one to watch because it might turn into one of these before too long.
Do you know this company, INO?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going anywhere today.
That's a different INO than I was thinking of.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
There's a media company, INO.
Yeah. Now the other one is NNVC.
Is that?
No, NNN, Nancy.
Gotcha. Go.
Yeah, they're all the same. So, you know, I think that's actually kind of a positive that these things are going down today, you know, potentially positive for the market. But listen, if the market sells off again and we have a disaster, those stocks will probably go back up. So, let's have a look at Royal Gold, RGLD. I mean, look at see, you got a doji there. You got this thing went opened higher, it went down and went back up. I mean, look, if I'm right and the gold price takes off Sunday night or something, this thing could open up above 100 on Monday and never look back. I mean, you could see an absolutely monstrous move upwards in this thing because
I think we're going to have a very exciting trading night Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, look, a guy said to me this morning that, a very smart guy, that BTG, let's put up BTG, that's B2 Gold.
Give it to me again.
BTG.
ETG. Okay.
No, B, Bravo, sorry. Okay. This thing came out with the best numbers ever, and look at the stock. It's kind of crazy. So,
in this type of a scenario, money's supposed to flow to the quote-unquote safe haven. Well,
I think we're going
we don't see it in
still,
gold.
but I think,
we don't see it in Bitcoin.
I believe they're manipulating the gold down deliberately to maybe make people think that things aren't so bad or whatever. But that could change very dramatically because if
the only other real alternative is to go to cash. But what does that mean in today's world? Gee, it used to be.
That's what I was getting at earlier.
It used to be if you had money in the bank and you wanted your money, you could actually go to the bank and you could get your money out. But you can go to cash today. You can have your brokerage firm, wire all that quote unquote cash to your financial institution. But walk in the front door with a briefcase and try to get that money. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They might let you walk if they really know you. They might let you walk out with $5,000 in cash.
No, they usually won't, Dwayne. When I hate to have to say this, but I had to pay my brother out, and I had to get $100,000 in cash, and I went to the bank to get it, and they don't usually carry more than $10,000, and I went to a whole bunch of different banks.
And they've got a whole pitch. Well, why do you want this money? Why do you need this money? What are you going to do with this money? I don't know.
And
then they start filling out the suspicious activity reports.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I was.
You had a legitimate reason
at the bank. Fortunately, they called all the other banks local and told them that I was coming, so I don't have to do it all over again. But I ended up at the last bank, and I think I was in Newton, and they said, well, you should have just come here. We had it all. And there I am, and it's a funny story. I won't tell you the whole thing, but what I do want to say is about what we were talking.
Do you want the charts to show it, Michael?
Well, yeah, I can show it. Yeah, I'll take the charts.
Go ahead, just grab them.
Oops, hang on. Oh, man.
platform drop?
No, that's
There you
okay.
go.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. All right.
All right, we got your
What
charts.
I do want to show is this, and this is what you guys were just going into, and you see right here,
Those numbers should be in the thousands.
they should be 10 times that.
Oh, is that what you're
scary.
getting at?
Yeah,
When you said the volume, I didn't, I think we got a high volume day, but low volume numbers, I guess.
This
No,
is-
this
this
is
is 10
this is
levels
scared
deep.
money right here. This is scared money right here. And this is the euro, and the euro's not so scared, but the ES, the S&P 500, it's scared money. And if you look up and down on the DOM, it's just crazy. And I spend hours every day just doing this and looking at the DOM, and I know that this right here is not the normal thing. That's
S&P
why.
has traded just shy of 4 million contracts.
Well,
Yeah,
well, look,
I'm not saying it's not. We don't have any
but they're
volume.
coming in drips and drabs. Yeah, I know.
That-
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. And these are all the retail traders.
that actually could be a sign. That could be a sign of strength in a way, in a sense that the market is not facilitating the trade of the big boys, if you like, where they.
That's what I think it is. These are all retail right here.
Right.
And
Right.
the big boys are just saying, okay, I'm just going to sit back, let this play out, and when the time comes, I'm going to jump in. So for me, I'm the short-term guy. Dwayne's middle-term guy. John, you're a long-term guy, and so for me, this is an opportunity of a lifetime. And I don't know. I don't know. Yesterday I thought, I don't know. I'm getting an opportunity like this again, and today I got a better one. And so Sunday, I'm saying for all you guys who are Concierge Trade Alert holders, or the Logic 24/7, passport holders, Sunday is going to be a big day. I just know Sunday is going to be a big day. And so, be at your computer at 6 o'clock Sunday evening. It'll be worth it.
See again, we had a pullback, and now the market's clawing its way higher again. It's really quite encouraging to see that.
Yeah, I totally think. I said this morning during the room when we were right here. I said, okay, it's pulling back up to the BBC. If we get a down close at the BBC, I drew these levels in, and these were from actually the partners meeting. Excuse me, hiccups. These were from the partners meeting last night. Well, I think they were pretty close. Sorry, I have the hiccups. These were from the partners meeting last night, and I said, if we get a down close on this bar right here, it's probably going to draw down to this level, and this is the next level down if we break through this level, and we didn't. And I said if we close above the BBC, then we're probably going to have a move up. And you see this bar right here, even though it's a red bar, it's totally above the BBC. That is bullish. And then we get this cross right here, totally bullish. And I was saying this morning, we're probably going to have a Friday afternoon rally. And there we have it. So right now we're hitting the BBC, we're bouncing off it, and we have dynamic resistance right up here that needs to be broken, and I think it will be. We have down here separation between the cycle and the green line, and right now it's going to do what it did right here. Okay, you see it came down, hit the BBC, we had all this separation down here. And this is technical trading, not fundamental trading. And I know right now a bunch of the stuff that's going on pushing it down is fundamental, but the technical stuff, putting it back up, is there. And right now it's saying it's going to turn up, And it's going to put in, well, where's the high of the day? This is a 5-minute chart. Well, it's going to put in a swing high. I'll say that. It's going to put in a swing high. It's going to be above this level right here, above the dynamic resistance. And that is what I think is going to happen. Now, what does happen may be different. So I always trade what's in front of me, and you know, I'm the short-term guy. So I'll trade and make money in the short term, and that's what I want. You know, we're teaching everybody to do is to trade and make money in the short term. You know, because I don't want to have people holding overnight and then they go to sleep and then wake up the next morning and their account's empty. You know, I don't want that.
And that's not what we teach.
It's not what we teach at all. Not at all. But there you have it. That's my thought.
Okay. Let me grab these charts back. There we go.
Okay, we are now back on your charts.
And here we go.
Okay,
Let me take
we
this
got you.
one down. Still got a lock and load. Here we go. All right. So here we sit right here on the daily. Last night on the 30-minute chart, John, all of our members were given the alert at 6:15 p.m. Eastern. Be short 29.30. As you know, our alerts are a little different than other alerts because we identify important prices, important areas that the market is going to continually retest. Yesterday, these were the alerts that came out Wednesday night for the Thursday session. To sell 30.88, we had a $1,400 move back above the trigger, a $4,000 per contract move back above the trigger, and that led to a $6,000 per contract move. Last night's alerts, which went to all of our members at 6:15 p.m. Eastern, sell 29.30. We had an initial $300 per contract move, followed by back above the trigger, $1,000 per contract move, back above the trigger, $2,500 per contract move, back above the trigger, $3,800 per contract move, back above the trigger, $1,000 per contract move, and friends, it looks like we may be triggering again right here. So keep that in mind. So that's just the S&P. I'll be going over the Dow, the Russell, the NQ, gold, crude with you. I'll go over all of the Concierge Trade Alerts and Logic 247. John, what markets would you like to take a look at? What chart would you like to see now?
Just TSV, check that one out.
Let's do it.
No, FTSB.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a very dynamic stock, but again, it got hit this morning. And also TTD, that opened higher today.
The trade desk.
Yeah, look at that. That's kind of that's an interesting chart because it's a kind of a potential preview of what could happen next week to a lot of stocks. In other words, you know, we might have a doji kind of a bottom like yesterday and then go back up in a way that like this one is going. So also check out MDGL, Madrigal.
Madrigal, okay. Coming up, MDGL.
Just one sec.
Go ahead, grab it. Okay, we'll look at Madrigal when John gets back. So once again, this is the S&P 500 Emini Futures last night. Every passport holder had this opportunity and this one, and this one, and even the one developing now. In fact, the current one has already dropped 9 S&P points. It's $450 per contract traded. Let's go to the Dow. Now on the Dow, yesterday we went over Wednesday night's alert, which also was out about 6:15. You see what happened here? $500 per contract move. We get back above the trigger, get a $1,500 per contract move. We get back above the trigger, catch this little move here. It's another $500 move. Back above the trigger, which led to a almost $4,000 per contract move on the Dow. And price tried so valiantly to get back above the trigger, because that's what it does. And it came up a little bit shy. But once we teach you how to read candlesticks, you didn't have to be left out of that party. Now, last night's alert, which I've already put up in case you want to take a screenshot, but let me put them up again. If you want to grab a screenshot. 6:15 last night. That was the S&P. Now we're going to go to the Dow. Consider being short 25,300. All right, from 25,300. Hey, you, John?
Yeah. So the
You want to go back to that Madrigal chart?
oh yeah, sorry, yeah, just gonna.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's kind of like, I mean, look, it's almost like nothing ever happened with this chart this last week. That's out of the ordinary. You know what I mean? And there's a bit of a lesson in that. You know, you want to go with the stocks that are strong. You don't want to be buying, you know, cheap stocks. You want to be buying the stocks that survived this week or did better are stocks that are probably going to go quite a bit higher. And you know, there's always a risk with these medical stocks because you never know what can happen. But so far, look, I mean, it's quite impressive. And look at Intercept ICPT.
ICPT coming up. Intercept.
Yeah, the same sort of thing. Also, let's look at Agio because that's been quite an interesting company recently. AGIO. See, I mean, all of these stocks are kind of leading the way higher today. Have a look at Amgen, AMGN. Yeah, that's kind of got hit pretty hard. What about Baba? Let's have a look at Baba and Baidu.
Baba.
See,
Not
no
bad.
crash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, that kind of tells you that the Chinese are up to something because, you know, honestly, these stocks could skyrocket next week if there's an intervention. Look, it's kind of a three-way pullback with those stocks, right? And then Baidu.
When I went over the numbers from the close of the Asian markets today, I was surprised at, I mean, the Nikkei, John, posted a loss of 3.5%, Shanghai down 3.5%, Hang Seng down 2.5%. But these, you know, these high flyers are bucking that downtrend.
Yeah, have a look at EDC. You know, look, again, if we had an island bottom, if that green turns out to be an island bottom, that would be pretty bullish. Listen, we're going to go down and have this spike test, like I thought. You know, it's not looking too good right now. They're kind of going to sell. Yeah. So,
That's that last trigger I just showed you.
yeah.
Anything else you want to look at?
No, that's it. Listen, thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, John. You have a great weekend as well. Take care. And we'll see you on the internet.
Okay, thanks.
All right, bye-bye. All right. So here's the S&P. Here's the Dow. Last night, every CFRN passport holder got this information. From 25,300 down to 25,100. That's a 200-point drop at $5 a point. It's $1,000 per contract move. That's what the market did. And then, as it does, price gets back above the trigger. Why? Because important prices, important areas are almost always tested. Now, we've been broadcasting this show live for many years, going back to 2005. If you go to youtube.com/CFRN, you'll find an archive of every single show, every day, every recap. Go back a week, go back a month, go back a few years. You'll see me putting these same alerts, these Concierge Trade Alerts, on the chart, and you'll see me walking through the multiple triggers day after day, week after week, month after month. You know the routine. So from 25,300 down to, what do we make it, 24,900? So that's a 400-point drop at $5 a point. That's a $2,000 per contract move. What we do is not complicated. Man, there's algorithms out there churning and quanting, and people are shoveling $27,000 at some places to learn a little bit about trading. But you see, that's just not enough. Complicated is not better. Expensive is not better. Simple is something you can actually learn. Inexpensive, of course, is always better than expensive, at least if you're on the paying end. Now, selling 25,300, we all agree that doesn't take a degree to do that. And to sell 25,300 over here, again, that's something anyone can do. And what we can do, and I'm not saying other folks couldn't do this, they just don't seem to care. We first teach you how markets work. You have to understand how markets work. And you would think that would be a complicated story that would take weeks and months to lay out, but I can teach how markets work in about 15 minutes. And you have to study them.
And we do it in the morning over and over and over and over and over again.
We teach live to an entire group every day, Monday through Friday, from 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. That's 2 hours of live training in live markets, real time, 2 hours. You also get unlimited one-on-one mentoring on top of that, but your core training starts in the live training room. Price gets back above the trigger, drops $2,000 per contract, gets back above the trigger. This time we dropped to 24,700. So that's going to be about 600 points at $5 a point, which equates to $3,000 per contract. That's what the market made available. You see, we make this available, but then the market does the heavy lifting. And because the market is taller and faster, has deeper pockets, probably even better looking, We simply want to do what the market does. We're not trying to outgame it, outrun it, outfox it, outsmart it. If there is, and let me make this very clear, if there is any trading strategy or methodology in existence, no matter how complicated, you can have algorithms, you can have co-located servers, you can have anything you want. If you can show our audience how what you did outperformed this, I will make you a guest on our show next week. I'll even encourage our people to buy your stuff. I'm not bragging. I'm just trying to point out trading's not easy, never has been, never will be. But it can be simple. So you can choose complicated, you can choose expensive, you can spend years and a whole lot of money trying to get your arms around this thing called trading. Or you can learn how markets work, which will allow you to learn how to read a chart, which then allows us to teach you how to trade. Okay, enough of that. Let's keep moving. This one's dropped. Well, we're at 2,500. So, let's see, 2,500. To 25, 300. 300, that's a $1,500 per contract move so far. Okay, that's so far. All right, let's go to the Russell. Now, yesterday on the Russell, the alert was to sell 1542, back above the trigger, 2,100 bucks, back above the trigger, 2,900 bucks. This brought us to last night's Concierge Trade Alerts, and last night for the Russell, the alert that went out to each and every trader, sell 1479. That's going to be right here. $14.79. Okay. So why are important prices important? Areas almost always tested. Well, in one of our one-on-one mentoring sessions, I'll help you understand that. Okay, so the first drop from 79 dropped to, we'll call it 75. It's 4 points, $50 a point. It's $200 per contract move. Price then gets back above the trigger. This time we take a drop to 1471. That's 8 times 5, so that's a $400 per contract move. Now, how many magical indicators and mystical oscillators were you required to have on your chart to take advantage of these trades? Do you see any magical indicators or mystical oscillators? I mean, we're not anti-indicator. We have a couple that we use, but that's all we use. Okay? The chart tells you what's going on. All our indicators do, because what we do is fluid across every market and every time frame. All our indicators do is go in and point out the obvious. If I load a chart and I load a time frame at random, apply our indicators, their job is simply to go in and find the underlying rhythm of that market in that time frame, and then highlight for you the highest probability, low risk entry. Because we're expecting the next high probability move. And that's why you need to learn how markets work, and you need to learn how to read a chart so that you know with great certainty what the next high probability move is. Does it always do the next high probability thing? No, sometimes it doesn't. That would defy the laws of physics, gravity, and God. So we won't waste your time on that. So we had a $200 per contract move, a $400 per contract move. This is going to be about a $600 per contract move. And then from 79 we dropped to 79, we dropped to 51. So, gosh. Alexa, 1479 minus 1451.
1,479 minus 1,451 is 28.
Alexa, 28 times 50. Alexa, 28 times 50.
28 times 50 is 1,400.
That's going to be another $200 per contract move there. This one here, yeah, we'll call it the same. It's a little more than that, but just to save a little time, because I really want to show you what happened in the workshop last night. Give you an idea of what it means to learn how markets work, how to read the chart, and how to trade. And so we're sitting on about a 7. This drop here, call that about 700 so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we had a 6 right here, and then this would have been the 7th one right here. Okay, maybe you trade the NQ. Yesterday on the show, as we went over the alerts, the number was to sell 87.97. We had a $2,000 per contract drop, got back above the trigger, had a $6,000 per contract drop, and we had a Logic 247 alert come out to sell 86.65, which turned into to be a $5,600 per contract move, which consolidated between these old zones and brought us into today. Now, as you can see from the alerts that were in the private Telegram channel last night, on the NQ, 83.63. $83.63. All right, 83.63. Where are you? There you are. All right. So the initial drop, 83.63. Alexa, 83.63 minus 81.76.
8,363 minus 8,176 is 187.
Alexa, 187 times 20.
187 times 20 is 3,740.
a $3,740 per contract drop. Of course, no one gets out at the exact swing low or swing high unless you're just lucky. I mean, because you don't know it's a swing high or swing low until after the fact. Now, important prices, important areas, almost always tested, as I've shown you on every single market. Look at this little heartbreaker right here. Swing high, 58 1/4. So this one, well, it's certainly a leg to the downside. But by the letter of the law, and remember, there's the law and there's the spirit, hence the name of the book, forthcoming, Trading in the Spirit. By the letter of the law, this just doesn't qualify. This one, however, most certainly qualifies. And this one took us from 83, from 83 63. Let's fix that. 83 63. There we go. Alexa, 8363 minus 8138.
8,363 minus 8,138 is 225.
Alexa, 225 times 20.
225 times 20 is 4,500.
It's a $4,500 per contract move. Price gets back above the trigger. Oh, and this time it drops. I don't know what, about 93. So we'll call it 60. We'll just call it 60. Call it a $1,200 per contract move. That's what the market did. We didn't do it. We just tell you where to get your ticket. Okay, so that's that little guy. And now Alexa, 8363 minus 8244. Alexa, 8363 minus 8244.
8,363 minus 8,244 is 119.
Alexa, 119 times 20.
119 times 20 is 2,380.
$2,380 per contract. That's how far the market moved from the trigger. So far. Still printing a red candle. All right. Let me do crude and gold real quick, and then I'm going to show you what we were looking at in the workshop last night. Okay, on crude, yesterday's alert was to sell 48.25. We got a $400 per contract move. Price then went back above the trigger. And at the point I measured it, there was a $2,000 per contract move. If you got out at our exit signal, okay, which was 46.86, it's $1,400 per contract. And then last night's alert for crude, as you can see, $45.75, and that's right here. $45.75. Okay. So we had a little drop down to 51. That's $240 per contract move. Price got back above the trigger, because that's just, you know, what it does. From 45.75 down to 44.90. It's going to be $800 per contract traded. And then back above the trigger. And from 45.75 to 44.75, that's $1,000 per contract right there. But we've actually dropped all the way to 44. It's a $1,750 per contract move. No magic, no secrets, no come-ons, no foolishness, no sleight of hand, no trick mirrors. This is how markets work. And when you understand how markets work, you can learn to read the chart, just like I'm reading it to you right here, right now. And once you learn how to read a chart, you're well on your way to actually learning how to trade. If you're tired of the gimmicks, if you're tired of the endless mystical indicators and magical oscillators, why don't you call Valerie today at 949-42-EMINI, or send her an email, support@cfrn.net, and find out just how simple it can be for you to start your training today. You're not going to start trading today unless you want to become one of these guys. I know we're an instantaneous society, from the drive-thrus to the microwaves. We want what we want, and we want it now. But those who are willing to put in a little time just to learn something so basic, so simple, so elementary, that puts you in a position to potentially become the 1 out of 10. You're going to fall into one of these two categories. It's a statistical fact. They say you need a definable edge in trading if you're going to be successful. There is no greater definable edge than to have someone who teaches you, not only in group settings, but in private one-on-one sessions. And that's what we offer. Now, last night on the S&P, we were looking. Our workshop every Thursday night starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. So that's 2100 hours. Okay, we were on this candle right here. We were into, and we were above the trigger. Okay, so keep that in mind. So let me bring up a 5-minute chart. And let me wheel it back to last night at 2100 hours. Okay. During the workshop, I was instructing our traders, Michael and I both, answering all the questions that they had. This window of opportunity opened when price was up in this area here. Okay. Now the top of the window, 29.50, we called it. Bottom of the window was 29.43, being conservative. It's a 7-point move, 7-point window of opportunity. Okay. So now, in that 21, this was what we call 21.50. So we were almost an hour into the workshop. So we'll move over to the 2200 candle. That's this guy right here. And it was after this window of opportunity filled, then we got our trigger to the short side from the Concierge Trade Alert. See, this was a live real-time alert. This was from the static report you get every night, shortly after the Globex open. Why was this appealing? Red and falling, red and falling. red and flat. Up here, if I had my indicators loaded on the 30-minute chart, you would also see red and falling. When you've got red and falling everywhere you look, you just use our indicators then to put you into the highest probability, low risk trade setup that we're capable of finding. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that can find plenty of stuff far more clever than what we do, but we don't claim to be clever. We don't try to be mysterious. We're as transparent as transparency comes. What we do every day, live in the Telegram channel, live during the live training room every day, we go over every single move, every single trade, every single day. The good, the bad, the ugly. What we've done live in real time in front of our members, we then come and show you what we did live in real time in front of our members to everybody in the viewing audience. That's transparency. That's how you learn to spot windows of opportunity. Now, let me ask you a question. Did we say that important prices in important areas are almost always tested? We already covered that here. Let me walk over. Swing high. 53.50. Does that put us back above the top of the window of opportunity? Sure does. And do the next two 5-minute candles take us down through the window of opportunity for a second time? Sure does. And if you're wondering what that rectangle is, that just represents the most recent swing low on the 5-minute chart. We said if we get there and we spiked it, it would probably be good for a bounce. Price always reverts to the mean. There you have it. And from there again, now you're short in conjunction off the 5-minute. You're now short in conjunction with the big picture 30-minute chart, where we've already clearly defined before it happened, not after, the places that you want to get short if price affords you the opportunity. And it did. Okay. Now, this week for Logic 247, what I've just shown you with the Concierge Trade Alerts, that is a static report. It does come out every evening shortly after the Globex Open. If you have access to our private Telegram channel, this is what you're going to see. And through the group meetings and the private mentoring sessions, you'll understand exactly how to use those numbers, just as I've shown you here on the show today. But we also have Logic 247. That's our around-the-clock futures alert service. You may get an alert at 2 a.m. You may get an alert at 2 p.m. It might be pork bellies. It might be the S&P. It's wherever opportunity presents itself. See, you never go to the trading platform to trade. No, let me say that again. You never go to your trading platform to trade. You go to your trading platform to see if there is a trade. Because once you understand how markets work, once you know how to read a chart, you'll quickly understand there's not always a trade available. Now, you can pull the trigger anytime you want. How's that working? Probably not so good. If it is working good, call me. I'd love to talk to you about it. Okay. So Logic 247, round the clock. The results this week of Logic, I just got a fresh recap from Valerie, and I will show that to you right now. As of yesterday at 11:30, we had a total of 25 alerts issued. One of them had been stopped out, so 4% of actionable. As of today at noon, 28 total alerts, 2 never triggered, 1 still in the wing. We now have 2 stop outs. So 8% of our actionable alerts this week with Logic 247 were stopped out. By the way, that's a good week. Over the last 82 weeks, we've averaged roughly 20% being stopped out. So now I'm going to walk you through the Logic 247 trades for the week. Again, we are in week 82. Last week, week 81, this is how we finished up. 28 actionable alerts, 5 of them were stopped out. It's 18% of actionable alerts were stopped out. And then week 82 began this past Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern at the Globex Open. You know, many traders, when they think of trading, they think of the markets, they think of 9:30 a.m. Monday through Friday till 4 p.m. each day. That's a day job for sure, but we don't trade based upon the clock. We trade based upon the opportunity in the market. And so 19 minutes after the Globex Open last Sunday night, this is right here Mountain Standard Time, all of our traders got this alert live in real time through the private Telegram channel to be short 3286. Imagine if you had gotten short at 3286 last Sunday night at 6:19 p.m. Eastern and just held your position. Yeah, well, we're not professing that we did that. I don't know anyone who did that. But again, there's folks out there a lot more clever than I, so I'm sure somebody probably did. But all of our traders that took advantage, well, you know the story. We then had an alert on Crude that never triggered. It was a counter trend. We then hedged that trade. And when you see a thumbs up, that means price made the target. When you see Z's, that means it didn't trigger. And when you see a red X, that means it was stopped out. Here's a short on the NQ. Now we're rolling into Monday. Here's a short on the S&P. Short on the Dow. Another short on the NQ. Short on Crude. Short on the ES. Short on the ES. Short on the ES. Short on the ES. This was actually a long on the Dow. And I'm sorry, the one before that, that was a buy on the S&P. In this crazy down market this week, we got long trades that found the target. The Dow, NQ, never triggered. Crude oil got stopped out. Gold, that was a long, found its target. There's another S&P long, found its target. S&P short, S&P short, S&P short, S&P short. Again, this is the same trade. It's back to back. Why? Because important prices, important areas are almost always tested. That's short on the Dow, short on the NQ, short on the Russell, short on the S&P, short on the NQ. This one's still waiting, I guess. And this one got stopped out. Not by much, I don't think. But it did. That's the truth about trading. So if you're ready, put away the toys and all the noise and just simply learn how to trade. All you got to do. Get a hold of Valerie. She'll set things in motion for you. We believe enough in what we do that you can get started today. No money down. No interest or payments for 6 months. That's how much we believe in what we do. You're invited to join our family. We've been broadcasting live every trading day since 2005. And now it's time, as we wrap things up for the day, to go to our good word for the day. That's how we wrap up each and every broadcast. Let me find my notes. Now, we all run into trouble. We all have issues. We all face some crisis at one time or another, and the world is facing a crisis, even as I speak. So today we want to talk about when your back's against the wall, be careful who you turn to. Ecclesiastes 4:10. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. Have you ever been in that situation? Remember that commercial years ago, I've fallen and I can't get up? That's when they came out with the little emergency alert bracelet things, I think, which were a great idea. It's kind of old school technology now almost, but it was quite cutting edge when those commercials used to air. But have you? And I don't just mean physically fallen with no one to pick you up. Maybe spiritually. Maybe financially. Maybe it's your marriage. Maybe it's your relationship with your children. Well, here's the deal. God never meant us to fly solo. We all need help and encouragement from time to time. But please be careful who you turn to. Number one, don't go to someone who can't handle your problem. By sharing your situation with them may give you some temporary feeling of relief. What if they're not mature enough to handle it? Jesus said, if anyone causes one of these little ones to stumble, it would be better for them to have a large millstone hung around their neck and to be drowned in the depths of the sea. It's Matthew 18:6. Now, it's okay to turn to a proven friend as long as they're spiritually mature. In Proverbs 17:17, we read this: a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. But you must know that they're a true friend. Peter writes, 1 Peter 4:8, love covers a multitude of sins. Someone who truly loves you will pray for you and walk with you until you have victory. And when you're on the wrong path, they won't cover up or make excuses for you. They will hold you accountable. That right there is one of God's greatest gifts. When possible, turn to a spiritual father. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 4:15, you might have 10,000 instructors in Christ, yet you do not have many fathers. Now think of a good father's attributes. He corrects but never condemns. He doesn't give up on you, no matter how many times you fumble that ball. He evaluates you based on your best qualities rather than your worst. Instead of reacting negatively to your failures, he recognizes your potential and keeps on working with you. So friend, ask God today. If you don't already have one, ask God to put a spiritual father in your life. And then you make sure you stay in constant contact with the one God sends you. That's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.